I can get into later, but so I realized that I was going to enter a very, very deep, dark world that to us we could call hell. But really to me it was the underworld womb of the Mother Earth that I felt was being sabotaged and manipulated by these negative technologies, really inhibiting the planet's ability to regenerate and really inhibiting our ability to awaken to our connection and how the natural flow of knowing how to build and how to co-create and how to live in harmony was just really being tweaked by these other energies. So I guess to make a long story short, I was needing to sort out the difference and using my body as a means to differentiate the organic path of light with the false matrix. And at this stage in my journey, being an adult after having 2 kids, after surviving things that I mean, it's a miracle that I survived. I am really trying to help this planet and anybody who's listening really notice the difference and really not feed those forces anymore and really illuminate the divine spark within themselves to not feel separate and to feel absolutely empowered as having God within and just access to dimensions that are a part of who we are that will assist us in lifting the veils off of this planet to connect us back to universal society. So these technologies it's excruciatingly painful to see what it's done to my loved ones. It's incredibly painful to see what it's doing to the planet. Controls the weather, controls people's minds. People are chipped at young ages. The Illuminati and the forces of, I guess you'd call the global elite, even though there's some people that aren't even aware that they're agents, have been abusive and absolutely inhumane to the consciousness of so many people. And inhibiting that creative force has really created a disabled planet that energetically is functioning at a very small degree to what it's absolutely capable of. So each individual is really responsible for breaking free, but there's elements of it that, you know, there's some serious victims out there that need help, and I'm really here to expose who I believe is behind this. The agenda is to start an off-planet civilization, to allow the Earth to somewhat self-destruct so that the new civilization is created out of control of what could not be controlled here. So, you know, there's all these different timelines, and I feel like I've almost confronted every one of them. And the one that was the loudest and the most real to me was happened in about 2006 when I met an agent who I didn't know was an agent. And that was when the recruitment to Mars and trying to get me to join the mission started to take place. And through dreams and my intuition and just what I described as a child and what I understood were all the things that alerted me to this not being good, plus being an observer of how my partner was acting and all of that. I mean, it was kind of undeniable that something was wrong from the very beginning. Just when the mention of Mars came up, it was like there was no sort of, I knew that I had genetics of a leader, more as somebody who speaks on behalf of the people, not somebody who's here to take charge, but more, you know, just facilitate great change and inspire. And I knew something was wrong when I wasn't really being listened to, and it felt very controlled. And so when my partner was bringing this up, I just fought against it. I said, no, I'm not going to do that. But when I met him, he posed as just a normal person, and we connected and, you know, fell in love. And later on down the road, that's when I started to realize that he was sent to find me, and the reason he was sent to find me was to lure me into this recruitment. And they were very sneaky the way they did it, but luckily I'm pretty clairvoyant and very, 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 very sensitive. Any frequency that isn't organic or natural or just a part of just, you know, our true essence, it's like I'm allergic to it. It's like it freaks me out. It makes me angry, and it's just like, it's not even a conscious thought to fight against it. It like erupts out of me. I won't have anything to do with it. And so I was taking on a lot of battles. Even my ex had alien possession things happening and frequencies that just really disturbed me. And so the amount of force I've had to use to counteract all this, you know, from teenage years has really done a number on me. But, you know, we're at this phase now that I was able to break free of that timeline and that agenda to Mars. And my friend was with me all the way through and can attest to it, and it's pretty intense.
Right. Now,
I could keep on going, but I'll wait till you ask a question.
Sure. Just to back up a bit, some of the revelations that you've made or that you are making, which are really grounded in revelations that whistleblowers like Andrew Bashaga, who's been on Exopolitics Radio and who's talked about surveillance using time travel devices like chronovisors or actual time travel, where people are surveyed for political purposes by going ahead in time, and that the person who was your handler, sort of in this Mars project, and we'll get to the Mars project in a bit, revealed to you that you had actually been pre-identified, perhaps even by using this time travel, these time travel devices. And I wondered if you could talk about that.
Yes. Well, kind of when things started to reach a head, and it kind of came to the point where the truth versus, this mission and this recruitment and what was behind why I was a person of interest started to really just show itself. There was a point where between the different controls that were taking place, because he would drop everything and go on missions. He would get phone calls, and they would just say something to him, and he would drop everything and just go. And every once in a while I could talk to his true nature, and most of the time I was talking to the person that was wanting to do this mission. And one day he just, I guess he was in a grounded state and wasn't really being affected. He ripped off all the cell phone batteries and unplugged everything because he thought he was bugged or said we were bugged, and wanted to let me in on, what this was all about and why I was a person of interest. And the first thing is the person that he was the right-hand man of that was really heading this is known for remote viewing. And when I did research on him, I located the fact that he is, associated with a lot of negative technologies, including HARP and ELF. But besides that, what they understood about me was something that one would only understand if they were able to time travel. So there were things about, jump rooms and the looking glass thing and cubes. I mean, things I couldn't really sort out because I was in survival on a heart level. And even though I did research and I have a lot of it written down, it's almost hard to put into words, but there was something with the Akashic records and remote viewing and time travel that was able to somehow stay one step ahead of the process of nature unfolding as it should have. And when I clued into this, it helped me kind of get one step ahead of them, because I wasn't really going to let myself fall in love and, be blinded and go off to Mars and this and that. I mean, I was really on to all of this, so I kind of had to jump myself a little bit even further ahead and do a little bit of my own sort of going back into time without using technology, but just, I started to understand just what I needed to understand. And they were targeting me, I guess, because I'm able to create this shift, and they targeted him because he was somebody that I could really do this with on Earth. And they recruited him out of the Knights Templar Freemasonry group that he was somewhat affiliated with. And before he met me, they had just kind of set him up to meet me, and we probably would have met anyway, but when he did meet me, it was under their control. And he wanted me to go to Mars, and it was funny because he had names that he had identified with himself growing up, Osiris, Oberon, and Orion, and was talking to me about Sophia Magdalene and how that was a part of what these groups understood. And so there's a level of awareness about what could be happening without their influence that they just wanted to get in the way of. And they've used all sorts of means, and this is something that's been happening for lifetimes, and this is where Eisenhower kind of comes in, because even, during the time of Hitler and, these type of wars, and there's one scenario after another that's trying to defeat and win over a high vibration of human compassion, justice, fairness, and the sense of having a global family. And so, to me, it was just, why am I taking this on? A lot of it has to do with the Eisenhower bloodline, but in further investigation, through these time travel and remote viewing things, there's a lot more to it that I was already aware of before they met me. So all the pieces came together. And I'm not sure if I answered this well enough, but that's,
No, sure, it is. And it, just to crystallize it for our audience to give an idea, you write, my great-grandfather, President Ike, who was also the Army general who led the Allied forces to victory over Hitler, battled evil, corrupt powers on Earth and took on some of the most challenging